Have you ever found yourself feeling a little weaker, a bit more forgetful, or maybe just a bit lonelier than before? It's something many of us face quietly as the years go by, and it can feel like the world is moving faster than we can keep up with. But what if I told you that these changes aren't just about getting older? Maybe it's not simply age catching up, but something else entirely that many overlook. These little shifts in our bodies and minds might seem small, but they can quietly shape the quality of our days in ways we don't realize. In this video, we're going to explore how living alone in your 80s can bring surprising benefits: freedom, sharper thinking, and even greater happiness. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll discover simple truths that might just change how you see your independence. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Benefit 1. Freedom and control over your own life. For many Americans who have reached the remarkable milestone of 80 years or more, life can start to feel a little bit like a routine that someone else has set. Maybe you've spent decades raising children, sharing your home with a partner, or even opening your doors to grandchildren. Your days have likely been shaped by the needs of others: what to cook, when to eat, who needs help, where to be, what noise levels are acceptable, and even how your living room is arranged. These little negotiations are a normal part of family life, and after a while, we get so used to putting others first that we barely notice our preferences slipping quietly into the background. You might even wake up one morning, look around your home, and realize the rhythm of your day is built around someone else's needs. Sometimes a spouse who needs extra care, sometimes adult children with opinions about your routine, or maybe just the expectation that you'll always be available. For so many seniors, especially those used to a lifetime of caring for others, this quiet compromise becomes the invisible fabric of daily life. It feels normal. Isn't that just how it is? You might think, at my age, aren't I supposed to let the younger folks decide? Or maybe you believe that your opinions don't matter as much anymore. But what if we looked at things differently? What if the years you've earned weren't meant to be years of giving up control, but years of reclaiming it, of rediscovering the unique melody of your own life? Here's the surprising truth. Living alone as an 80-year-old doesn't have to be a story of loneliness or worry. In fact, for many, it can be a time of immense freedom and newfound power over daily choices, sometimes for the first time in decades. Let's pause and ask a question that might challenge everything you've been told. What if living alone, instead of meaning being left behind, is your chance to finally shape your life just the way you want it? It's a radical thought, isn't it? So much of our culture tells us that growing older means letting go of jobs, of independence, of decisions. But the truth is, the ability to make choices about your own life, big and small, is a fundamental part of feeling alive, valued, and content. The science behind this is both simple and profound. Researchers in gerontology, the study of aging, have found that having control over our daily lives plays a major role in overall well-being for seniors. In one study by Dr. Ellen Langer at Harvard, nursing home residents who were given more choice in their routines, from when to eat to how to arrange their rooms, lived longer, felt happier, and even showed better health than those who followed schedules set by others. The sense of agency, even over small matters, leads to lower stress hormones, improved mood, and a brighter outlook on life. Why does this matter so much? Because autonomy, the freedom to decide for yourself, gives you a reason to get up in the morning. It lets you pursue what truly matters to you, rather than drifting through days shaped by the needs or opinions of others. Whether it's deciding to have a late breakfast, setting the thermostat to your favorite temperature, or choosing a show you genuinely want to watch, these little freedoms add up to a life that feels more yours. Of course, choosing to live alone at 80 or older comes with real concerns: safety, health, and staying connected. But the reward, for many, is a beautiful kind of independence. The freedom to create your daily routine, to decorate your space exactly as you like, and to rediscover old passions or hobbies that may have been set aside. You can listen to music as loud or as soft as you like, eat breakfast for dinner, or spend an entire afternoon working on a jigsaw puzzle without worrying about someone else's plans. You can even set your bedtime, stay up reading, or enjoy a quiet cup of tea without having to explain yourself to anyone. Here's a gentle, practical tip if you're considering embracing this kind of freedom. Start small. You don't have to overhaul your whole life overnight. Begin by noticing the little things you truly enjoy and find ways to make them part of your routine. Maybe you want to rearrange your living room so that your favorite chair catches the afternoon sun, or you'd like to put family photos and keepsakes where you can see them every day. Perhaps you've always wanted to try painting, gardening, or writing letters to old friends. Permit yourself to say yes to these desires, even if they seem minor. If you have adult children who like to check in and sometimes offer too much advice, have an open conversation about what you want for yourself. Let them know you value their care, but that your independence matters, too. If you have safety concerns, there are wonderful technologies, like medical alert devices and smart home systems, that can help you feel secure while maintaining your privacy. Let's take a moment to hear from someone who's lived this experience. Meet Helen, an 82-year-old retired schoolteacher from Ohio. After her husband passed away and her children moved to different states, Helen decided to stay in her own home rather than move in with family or into a senior residence. At first, she admits, the thought was daunting. Friends worried she'd be lonely, and her children were concerned about her safety. But Helen found that living alone gave her a sense of freedom she hadn't felt since her youth. She began each day with her favorite breakfast, banana pancakes and black coffee, enjoyed while reading the newspaper at the kitchen table. She rearranged her living room so her rocking chair faced the bird feeders outside, and spent quiet afternoons tending to her garden or writing letters to her grandchildren. She said, "For the first time in decades, I felt like I was living for myself, not just for everyone else. I made my own rules, followed my own pace, and rediscovered what brought me joy. I still see my children and friends often, but I love coming home to my own space. It's not about being alone, it's about being in charge of my own story." Helen's experience isn't unique. All across America, seniors like her are discovering that living alone can be a celebration of independence rather than a sign of isolation. And it's not just about big freedoms, traveling, pursuing new adventures, or making grand changes. It's about the small everyday choices that add up. Choosing what to cook, what music to play, whether to take a walk or simply sit on the porch and watch the sunset. The real magic lies in realizing that, even at 80, you have the right and the ability to shape your days around what matters most to you. So if you're sitting there, wondering if you're too old to claim this kind of freedom, let me encourage you. Age does not take away your right to live life on your terms. Every sunrise is a new opportunity to make decisions, big or small, that reflect who you are and what you love. Whether you're living alone by choice or circumstance, see it as a chance to honor your preferences, to listen to your own needs, and to nurture the life you've built over so many years. You are the author of your next chapter. So go ahead. Set your schedule, follow your rhythm, and let your days be a reflection of your truest self. Freedom is not just for the young. It's a gift you can give yourself at any age. Benefit 2. Maintaining independence and a sharp mind. As the years roll by and you find yourself with a few more candles on the birthday cake, it's easy to start noticing subtle changes in your daily life. Maybe you pause a little longer before recalling a friend's name, or you misplace your glasses only to find them right where you left them. Sometimes, it's those fleeting moments, a word on the tip of your tongue, a number that just won't come to mind, or the feeling that you've told the same story twice in the same afternoon. It happens to all of us, and for many seniors, these moments can be quietly unsettling. Often, people chalk it up to just getting older. Some even joke about senior moments, as if losing a bit of sharpness is an inevitable part of aging. But what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if those small slips and memory lapses aren't simply the result of age, but a gentle nudge from your brain and your body asking for a little more independence, a bit more mental engagement, a new way to live. We tend to believe that aging automatically means losing our independence or our mental sharpness, but science and real life tell a different story. Maintaining your independence, especially if you live alone in your 80s, can do wonders for keeping your mind active and resilient. So, let's pause and ask the question that often gets overlooked. Does living independently help keep your brain young and your spirit strong? For decades, society has pushed the idea that as we grow older, we should surrender certain freedoms for the sake of convenience or safety. Many seniors find themselves gently nudged by well-meaning family members into routines that are meant to be easier, less decision-making, fewer responsibilities, and a simpler schedule. But research has shown that these very routines, though comfortable, may lead to the very problems we wish to avoid: forgetfulness, a sense of helplessness, and even depression. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The brain, much like a muscle, thrives on use and challenge. When you live independently, making your own choices about meals, social activities, even how you spend your mornings and evenings, you give your mind daily exercise. Psychologists call this cognitive engagement, and it's one of the strongest predictors of mental well-being in later life. According to studies from the National Institute on Aging, seniors who continue to challenge themselves, learn new things, and maintain control over their daily routines are less likely to experience cognitive decline. When you're living alone, you naturally find yourself planning meals, managing medications, remembering appointments, and handling the ebb and flow of your home. These aren't just chores. They are opportunities for your brain to stay limber and alert. But the benefits of independence go even deeper. When you choose what to do with your time, whether it's reading a new novel, trying out a recipe, learning how to use a smartphone, or even solving a crossword puzzle, you're building what scientists call cognitive reserve. This is your brain's ability to improvise and find new ways of solving problems, a protective buffer that helps keep your mind sharp even as you age. Plus, the act of making decisions for yourself reinforces your sense of agency, your belief that your choices matter. This sense of control is directly linked to better emotional health, lower rates of depression, and an overall higher quality of life. Of course, maintaining independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. Staying connected to your community, your friends, and your family is another way to keep your mind active. Living alone often encourages seniors to reach out, make plans, join clubs, volunteer, or simply have regular chats with neighbors. Each new conversation, each different face, brings new stories and ideas that stimulate your thinking. And these connections don't just keep your mind sharp, they nurture your heart as well. Let's get practical. What are some simple ways to maintain independence and give your mind a gentle daily workout? First, try to take an active role in your daily schedule. Write a to-do list for each morning, mixing routine tasks, like watering your plants or sorting mail, with something new, a walk in the park, a visit to the library, or a call to an old friend. Challenge yourself to try a new recipe, start a small garden, or finally tackle that book you've been meaning to read. Technology can be your ally. Learning how to video call your grandchildren or order groceries online might feel intimidating at first, but each new skill is a little victory that keeps your brain humming. If you like games, pick up puzzles, board games, or even apps designed for brain training. The goal isn't perfection, but curiosity and gentle challenge. For social connection, look for ways to be part of your community. Many towns offer senior groups, book clubs, or walking groups. Churches, libraries, and community centers are wonderful places to meet people and keep your social calendar full. Even a regular phone call with a friend, sharing stories and laughter, can make all the difference. If you're worried about safety, there are plenty of modern solutions. Medical alert systems, video doorbells, and check-in services, so you can live alone with confidence and peace of mind. To see this in real life, let me share a story that always brings a smile. James, an 84-year-old retired engineer from Michigan, found himself living alone after his wife passed away. At first, he feared the quiet, worried it might become loneliness or that he'd lose track of the little details of daily life. But instead of withdrawing, James decided to embrace his independence. He bought a calendar and started writing down small goals for each week. Bake bread from scratch, call a friend he hadn't spoken to in months, or try a new card game online. He joined a local seniors club and began volunteering at the library's reading hour for children, delighting in sharing stories and seeing young faces light up. He even took a computer class at the community college, learning how to edit family photos and send funny emails to his grandkids. James says, "The best thing I ever did for my mind was to keep using it. I'm not afraid of forgetting things anymore. I'm too busy learning something new every day." It's stories like James's that remind us, independence is more than just living alone. It's a daily practice of staying curious, making choices, and allowing yourself to stretch your mind in ways big and small. Each step you take to remain engaged, whether it's solving a puzzle, tending a garden, or starting a conversation, reinforces the vibrant, thinking person you've always been. So, if you're wondering whether maintaining your independence at 80 is worth it, remember this. Your mind is still eager to learn, to solve, to create, and to remember. Living alone gives you both the challenge and the freedom to nurture these abilities, on your terms, at your own pace. Don't shy away from trying new things or taking charge of your daily life, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Embrace each new experience as a way to keep your brain sharp and your heart full. The gift of independence is that it lets you keep writing your own story, one filled with new characters, adventures, lessons, and laughter. You've earned this chapter. Let your curiosity lead the way, and trust that your mind is stronger and more adaptable than you may think. Every new day is an invitation to engage, to connect, and to grow. Claim it with confidence, and celebrate the bright, agile mind that is yours at any age. Benefit 3. Creating a safe and comfortable personal environment. It's a quiet afternoon, and you're moving through your home, maybe heading from the kitchen to the living room with a favorite mug of coffee in hand. The familiar creak in the hallway, the way the sunlight pours through your window at just the right angle. These are small comforts that make a house feel like home. For many older adults, especially those in their 80s, these routines can seem like nothing more than ordinary details, easily overlooked or taken for granted. But the truth is, the environment around us, the little things we arrange, the space we inhabit, has an enormous impact on our comfort, safety, and peace of mind. Yet, how often do we stop to notice our surroundings? Perhaps you've caught yourself sidestepping that one rug that always bunches up or reaching just a bit too far to get a plate from a high shelf. Maybe you've grown used to the dim light in the hallway at night or the way your favorite chair wobbles ever so slightly. It's easy to believe that these things are just a normal part of life, or to brush off the small risks as no big deal. After all, you've managed just fine all these years, haven't you? But here's a gentle question that might surprise you. What if creating a truly safe and comfortable home isn't about accepting little inconveniences, but about honoring yourself, about making sure your space evolves to fit your needs, not the other way around? So often as we age, we're told to be careful or take it easy, yet the environment we live in quietly shapes how confident, secure, and at ease we feel in our own homes. Rather than seeing slips, aches, or annoyances as just part of getting older, what if we saw them as signals, reminders to make changes that support our independence and happiness? There's a growing field of science called environmental gerontology that studies exactly this. How the spaces we live in affect our health, mobility, and overall sense of well-being. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, falls are one of the leading causes of injury among older adults in America, often happening right at home. But the good news is that many of these accidents are preventable, not with drastic changes, but with simple, thoughtful adjustments that make daily life easier, safer, and more enjoyable. Imagine, for a moment, waking up in a space that feels truly yours. one that's not only filled with your favorite memories and keepsakes but is also designed with your comfort and safety in mind. Instead of worrying about slipping on a slick bathroom floor or struggling to reach a heavy pan, you're free to focus on what brings you joy. That's the power of creating a personal environment that serves you at every stage of life. So, how can you make this happen in your own home? The best part is that creating a safer, more comfortable living space doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. Start by taking a gentle walk through each room, noticing not just what's familiar, but what could be easier or safer. Look for loose rugs, cluttered pathways, dimly lit corners, or any item that's become a daily obstacle. Would a night light make late-night trips to the bathroom less risky? Is there a cabinet that could be reorganized so you're not stretching or bending as much? Sometimes, moving a frequently used chair closer to a window can lift your mood and make reading more enjoyable. Other times, adding a few sturdy handrails in the bathroom or by the steps can bring tremendous peace of mind. Lighting, in particular, is something many of us overlook. As our eyes age, we need more light to see clearly, but harsh overhead bulbs can be uncomfortable. Consider placing warm, adjustable lamps in areas where you read, cook, or spend time relaxing. And don't forget the entryways. Well-lit porches or pathways make coming home in the evening feel welcoming and safe. Furniture arrangement can also make a big difference. Think about how you move through your home each day. Is there a spot where you always bump your knee, or a table that feels just a bit too low? Even small shifts, like moving furniture to create wider, more open walkways, can make your daily routine feel smoother. If bending to tie your shoes is tricky, perhaps a bench near the front door could help. Or if standing for long periods while cooking is tiring, a comfortable stool in the kitchen might be just what you need. For those who want to take safety a step further, today's technology offers smart solutions that bring reassurance without sacrificing independence. Devices like medical alert systems, motion sensing lights, and voice-activated assistants can be subtle yet powerful tools. They provide help when you need it and a sense of security both for you and your loved ones, without taking away your privacy or autonomy. Let's pause for a real story. Margaret, an 86-year-old widow from Oregon, lived in the same cozy bungalow for over 40 years. After her husband passed, her children worried about her staying alone, especially after she mentioned tripping over a loose rug. Instead of moving to assisted living, Margaret decided to take a new look at her home. She worked with her daughter to make a list of little changes. They replaced slippery rugs with non-slip mats, added bright but gentle lighting along the hallway, and installed a handrail beside the bathtub. Margaret also set up a voice-activated device so she could call her daughter easily, just in case. These small steps made an enormous difference. Margaret says, "I feel more confident now than I did 10 years ago. I don't worry about falling, and I love that my home still feels like mine, only safer and more comfortable." She even jokes that her granddaughter loves the voice assistant as much as she does, asking it to play her favorite songs on quiet afternoons. Margaret's story is a reminder that taking charge of your environment isn't about losing your independence. It's about strengthening it. By thoughtfully arranging your space, you empower yourself to keep living on your terms, enjoying every day with less worry and more delight. And it's not just about safety. Comfort matters just as much. Surround yourself with things that make you happy. A favorite quilt, fresh flowers, photos of loved ones, a well-worn book within easy reach. These small touches turn a house into a sanctuary, a place that not only protects you but nourishes your soul. If you're feeling hesitant or overwhelmed by the idea of making changes, start with one small improvement. Maybe today, you organize your nightstand, and next week, you swap out a rug or add a new lamp. Ask friends or family for help if you need it. You might be surprised how eager they are to support you. Remember, your home should grow with you, reflecting the wisdom, care, and joy you've accumulated over a lifetime. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In the end, Creating a safe and comfortable personal environment is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as you age. It's a way of honoring your needs, supporting your independence, and making every day just a little brighter, easier, and more peaceful. You deserve to feel safe and truly at home, surrounded by comfort and the memories you cherish most. So don't wait. Look around, listen to your instincts, and create the environment that helps you live your very best life every single day. You've earned it every step of the way. Benefit 4. Quality time for yourself and your passions. There's something quietly profound about the gentle hours of an afternoon spent in your own company. Maybe the light in your favorite room softens just so, or you hear the distant sound of songbirds through an open window. For many seniors, especially those who have lived bustling lives surrounded by family, careers, and obligations, finding oneself alone at 80 might at first feel unfamiliar, even lonely. You might remember decades where your schedule was dictated by the needs of others. Preparing meals for your children, coordinating grandkids' visits, or keeping up with friends and neighbors dropping by unannounced. Your time was precious, but never truly your own. As life changes, however, many older adults discover that living alone brings with it something rare and beautiful: the gift of time. Not just any time, but quality time. Moments that belong solely to you, to be spent however you wish, with no pressure to accommodate the plans or rhythms of anyone else. Yet, this gift can be easy to overlook. Many of us are so used to tending to others that when the house grows quiet, we're unsure what to do with ourselves. Some might even feel a pang of guilt or anxiety at the idea of putting their own needs first. Is it selfish to focus on yourself, to pursue a passion or a simple pleasure just for the joy of it? But what if we could see things differently? What if, at this season of life, the time you spend on yourself is not just a luxury, but a necessity? What if those quiet afternoons are not empty, but full of possibility? Society sometimes tells us that getting older means narrowing our horizons, giving up hobbies, or simply slowing down. But in truth, science, and the stories of thousands of vibrant seniors, tells us that continuing to nurture our passions, explore interests, and carve out personal time is essential for health, happiness, and even longevity. Let's pause and ask the question that matters most. Could spending quality time on yourself, doing what you truly love, be one of the best things you can do for your well-being after 80? It might sound almost too simple, but research strongly supports it. Studies from the National Institute on Aging and Harvard University show that engaging in hobbies and creative activities can reduce feelings of isolation, fight depression, and even keep the mind sharper. When you do things you love, whether it's gardening, painting, reading, cooking, or learning something new, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good hormone. This not only boosts your mood but can also reduce stress, support heart health, and help you sleep better at night. The magic lies in having both the time and the freedom to choose what fills your days. Living alone gives you exactly that. You can wake up and ask yourself, what do I want to do today? A question that's both liberating and full of promise. Maybe you'll spend hours tending to a rose garden, getting your hands dirty, and delighting in the simple miracle of new blooms. Maybe you'll finally sit down at the kitchen table and start that memoir you always meant to write, or learn to play an instrument, bake bread from scratch, or paint a canvas with bold, joyful colors. Don't worry if you feel a little rusty at first. It's never too late to rediscover what excites and inspires you. Sometimes, the first step is just permitting yourself. Maybe you want to revisit an old hobby you loved in your youth: knitting, woodworking, singing, or hiking. Or maybe this is your moment to try something entirely new. The joy is in the process, not the result. If you're not sure where to begin, here are a few gentle ideas. Make a list of things that have always sparked your curiosity, even if they seem small or silly. Try something for 10 minutes a day: a short walk, doodling, playing a favorite song, or calling a friend. Create a cozy space just for you: a reading nook, a craft table, a comfy chair by the window. Look for community classes or online groups that match your interests. Many offer senior discounts or free events. Treat your passions as priorities, not as afterthoughts. Put them on the calendar, and protect that time the way you would for an important appointment. Let me share the story of Ruth, an 81-year-old from Indiana who found herself living alone for the first time after her husband passed away. For years, Ruth had been the backbone of her family, cooking, cleaning, organizing family gatherings, and helping with her grandchildren. When the house grew quiet, she struggled to fill the silence. She felt adrift and unsure of her purpose. But slowly, Ruth started to reconnect with a passion she'd tucked away for decades: painting. She set up a small corner in her living room with brushes, canvases, and bright paints. At first, she worried her skills would be rusty, but soon, she found herself losing track of time, happily absorbed in the swirl of colors and shapes. Each finished painting became a little celebration, something she shared with her family and neighbors, even donating pieces to the local library. Ruth also joined a local senior writers group and started journaling her memories, stories, and dreams. She discovered that the time she spent alone was not empty, but a wellspring of creativity and peace. She even found herself learning new things, a bit of gardening, baking bread, and, on her granddaughter's encouragement, taking up simple yoga. Ruth says, "I never imagined I'd be this busy at 81. My days feel full, and I finally feel like I'm living for myself, not just for others. I cherish these moments. My passions keep me company, and I'm happier and healthier than I've been in years." Stories like Ruth's are not rare. Across America, older adults are discovering that investing in themselves, whether through art, music, travel, volunteering, or learning, brings daily joy and lasting purpose. It's not about doing something grand or impressive. It's about honoring your curiosity, savoring your own company, and reminding yourself that you are still growing, changing, and worthy of delight. If you ever feel that old tug of guilt for focusing on yourself, remember, when you nourish your passions, you nourish your soul. You become more resilient, optimistic, and better equipped to face life's challenges. And you might just inspire those around you, children, grandchildren, friends, to do the same. So, as you look around your home on a quiet morning, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today, just for me? Maybe it's a new chapter in a book, a walk among the flowers, a favorite song played a little too loud, or a handwritten letter to an old friend. Whatever it is, embrace it wholeheartedly. You have earned the right to this time, these golden hours, free from obligation, open to joy. Permit yourself to linger, to savor, to create, to explore. The world is still full of wonder, and you are still full of possibility. Quality time for yourself is not selfish. It's a celebration of the life you've built and the person you continue to become, at 80, 90, and beyond. You deserve it. And who knows? Your next great adventure or masterpiece may be just a quiet afternoon away. Benefit 5. Building and maintaining social connections actively. There's something about a quiet house that makes you aware of every tick of the clock. For many seniors, especially those who live alone, the gentle hush of an empty living room, the stillness at dinner time, or the absence of laughter echoing down the hallway can feel both peaceful and, at times, a little too quiet. Maybe you remember years when your home was bustling with activity. Children running up and down stairs, friends popping in for coffee, neighbors waving from the porch. As life shifts and family members move away or friends become less mobile, it's natural to wonder if your social world has to shrink as well. It's all too easy to think that loneliness is simply a part of aging, something to be endured or accepted. After all, isn't it normal for circles to get smaller as we grow older? Some people resign themselves to the idea that making new friends or keeping up with old ones is a young person's game. But what if that's not the full story? What if staying socially connected, building and nurturing friendships, reaching out, joining in, could make all the difference, not just for your happiness, but for your health and even your longevity? Let's pause and ask an important question. Can actively maintaining social connections as you age truly impact your life, your health, and your sense of purpose? Research offers a clear and resounding yes. Scientists and doctors have long studied the power of social relationships, and the results are astonishing. The National Institute on Aging points out that seniors with strong social ties live longer, recover from illness faster, and are less likely to suffer from depression or cognitive decline. A famous Harvard study that followed people for over 75 years found that meaningful relationships are one of the single greatest predictors of health and happiness, OT wealth, not career success, but the simple act of connecting with others. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But why is this so? When we engage with friends, family, or even casual acquaintances, our brains release feel-good hormones like oxytocin and serotonin. Laughter, storytelling, a gentle hug, or a shared cup of coffee can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and even strengthen our immune systems. Social connection also keeps our minds sharp. Conversation is a workout for your brain. You listen, respond, recall, empathize, and sometimes even debate or joke. Each interaction, no matter how small, is like a little spark that lights up the mind and soul. Of course, maintaining connections takes effort, especially as we grow older and routines change. Friends may move away, loved ones pass on, or you may find yourself less able to get out and about. But this is where living alone can be an opportunity. It gives you the freedom to be intentional, to reach out, to choose the people and communities that make you feel seen, valued, and alive. So, how can you build and maintain these important social bonds, even if your circle has changed? Start small and close to home. If you have neighbors, make it a habit to wave hello, share a smile, or exchange a few words each day. Sometimes, these brief encounters turn into lifelong friendships. If you have old friends you haven't spoken to in a while, don't be afraid to pick up the phone, send a card, or write an email. People appreciate being remembered, and you may be surprised at how quickly a conversation picks up where it left off. Look for local groups or clubs that match your interests. Senior centers, churches, libraries, and community organizations often have activities for every passion. Book clubs, gardening groups, painting classes, walking clubs, or volunteer opportunities. Don't let hesitation or shyness hold you back. Remember, everyone is looking for connection. Sometimes, showing up once is all it takes to feel a sense of belonging. Technology is also a powerful ally. Video calls with children or grandchildren, online classes, and social media groups can help you stay close, even across distances. If you're not comfortable with smartphones or computers, consider asking a family member or friend to help you learn. Many libraries and senior centers offer tech workshops, and learning together can be a social event in itself. Let me share the story of George, a 79-year-old retired firefighter from North Carolina. After his wife passed, George found the house unbearably quiet. For weeks, he barely left home, convinced that his social days were over. But his daughter encouraged him to try the local community center's men's breakfast group. George resisted at first, thinking he wouldn't fit in, but finally decided to give it a shot. That one step changed everything. George met a handful of men his age, each with their own stories, struggles, and jokes. They met for breakfast every Thursday, then began walking together in the park, sometimes bringing their dogs or grandchildren. George found himself looking forward to these mornings, sharing laughter, recipes, and the gentle camaraderie that only comes from shared experience. He even started a small project with a new friend, building birdhouses for the local school. Now, George says, my life feels full again. I thought I'd lost my social world, but I just had to build it in a new way. Stories like George's are proof that friendship and community are always within reach. Sometimes we simply have to reach out first. The beauty of building connections as an older adult is that you get to choose the company you keep and create bonds that are meaningful to you. And remember, Social connection isn't just about big gatherings or busy schedules. Sometimes, the deepest connections happen in quiet moments. A heartfelt conversation over tea, a letter sent across the miles, or sitting side by side in comfortable silence with a dear friend. The important thing is to stay open, curious, and willing to take the small steps that turn acquaintances into friends and friends into family. If you ever worry that it's too late or that you don't know where to begin, start with a simple act. Make a list of people you care about and reach out to one each week. Join a local group or class, even if it feels intimidating at first. Remember, everyone is there for the same reason. Offer to help a neighbor, volunteer, or invite someone over for coffee. Try out new technology with an open mind. You might find it easier than you think. As you move through each day, remember that you have a world of friendship and connections still ahead of you. Your laughter, your stories, and your wisdom are gifts. Share them freely. Building and maintaining social connections is not just about fighting loneliness. It's about celebrating life together, making memories, and supporting each other through every season. In the end, these bonds are what make our days meaningful, turning even the simplest moments into lasting treasures. So, take the first step, reach out, and let your heart be open to the friendships and connections waiting for you. You never know what new joy or adventure may be just one conversation away. You are never truly alone. There is a community out there that needs your kindness, your spirit, and your presence. Cherish it, nurture it, and let it enrich your journey, today, tomorrow, and for all the years to come. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's pause and truly honor what it means to live alone as an 80-year-old senior. Far from being a sign of loneliness or loss, this chapter can be one of the most vibrant and fulfilling times of your life. It's a chance to reclaim your freedom, make choices just for you, and shape each day with intention and joy. When you embrace independence, you permit yourself to live by your rhythm, whether that means having breakfast at noon, dancing in your living room, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. You have the wisdom to create a safe, comfortable environment that's uniquely yours, surrounded by the memories, passions, and comforts you cherish. You have the opportunity to fill your days with hobbies, learning, creativity, and all the things that spark joy in your heart. And most of all, you have the power to choose your connections, nurturing friendships and family bonds in ways that are meaningful to you. Living alone doesn't mean being alone. It means having the freedom to decide what matters most and to celebrate every moment, big or small. So, as you reflect on your journey, ask yourself, what does independence mean to me? How can I make each day brighter, safer, and more fulfilling? I invite you to share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's build a community where we inspire and support each other. And if this video touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Your story matters, and the best chapters may still be ahead.